Oh, this is gonna be fun. Hello, fun video today. Depression. It happens. I couldn't find a video that talks about this, and I feel like it's important, especially for the reading community, because for me personally, the biggest obstacle I have when it comes to me trying to read more, or me just trying to read a lot, or have fun with reading, the biggest obstacle is absolutely my mental health. So, I'm just going to make this video for anyone who wants to read more, anyone who tries to read more. I'm just going to make a quick video on how I usually can get out of the slump that I'm in when it comes to my mental health, when it comes to reading, for anyone who has these conditions that wants to read more and better themselves. I'm making this video because, like I said, I've been in reading slumps before, and it's always usually because of this condition I have. I don't want to get too personal because this video's for you, but as for me, I was diagnosed about 5 years ago, and I've always wanted to read, and reading has always been my number one coping skill, so I always want to make sure that I have reading available, especially when I go through moments like these. See, when I get panic attacks or depressive episodes, it creates a lot of noise up in my head, and more noise in my head gives me a lot less clear space to absorb what I am reading, or even what I am listening to. I'm trying to start on The Housekeeper and the Professor, which isn't that hard of a book, but I really can't get anything through right now, and it's not information overload like my last video. I know what this feeling is. This is a wave I usually get when I'm going through more of a personal depressive episode. So I'm just going to tell you what I try to do to get myself out of it. I have one tip I try to focus on when I try to get out of my mental slump in order for me to read and comprehend again. And that one tip I have is to first build your way up from the bottom by making a list of what you can do and then try to do it. So first, the very first thing I did before I even thought about making this video was I noticed that I had to make a video today and my fan was running. I had to turn my fan off. So I got up and turned my fan off. And then by standing up, I feel like I could walk around. So I got a glass of water, and then I could take my camera and put it on the tripod, and then I could hit the record button on my mic. And by incrementally building up just one thing after another, I'm noticing that my head is getting a little more clear. It's still a bit chaotic right now. My head is currently screaming that this is going to be a terrible video, and that my whole channel is kind of ultimately useless. But I'm sure after I edit this and after I put this all together, then maybe I can read. And if I can't read, then I can maybe listen to an audiobook of it. And if I can't even understand what I'm listening to when I'm listening to it, then maybe I can just sleep it off and take it another day. Because what usually happens for me when I go through a depressive episode, I feel guilty that I didn't be productive that day. And then the next day I'll feel guilty that I wasn't productive yesterday. And then the next day I'll feel guilty about that day and the day before. And then it becomes a vicious cycle. So I need to remind myself that even though I'm not going to make a video on the book that I was supposed to talk about, it's going to be okay. I was planning on making a video on The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, but after finishing this book, it left me a little hopeless. I wasn't the biggest fan of this book, but I want to make a more in-depth video explaining my overall thoughts about this book, because even though I didn't like it, I do care that I read this, and I do care that this is an important book. I guess my 3 biggest tips to just conclude this would be to 1, to try to find small things that you can do and build yourself up to clear the mind, clear what's going on in your head, even if it's just a little and you can't clear all of it. And the second thing is to not beat yourself up too much if you simply can't read today. We have plenty more days to read, and if you just read a little the next day, then you'll be doing a lot better than feeling guilty about reading the day before. And the last piece of advice is just to practice your coping skills. I'll have links to the crisis text line and the depression text line below. They do a great job at helping you find coping skills, things that you like to make you feel better. So if you want to use those as free references, then please, I encourage you to do so. Alright, I'm just going to end the video here. If you like this video, give it a like. Hopefully I can make a better video about this or talk about this more when I'm not feeling this way. If you want to comment, whatever your thoughts, feel free to comment them below. And if you want to check out my channel, and if you like my channel, hit the subscribe button. I'm thinking once I monetize, I'll be giving parts of my monetization to a charitable cause. So you're doing the world a favor if you do it. Alright guys, let's see if this can be a competent video. We'll find out. Until then, I'm out. Peace.